I remember when Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor in 1933, the masses cheered. But we were not among them. We knew that the times would be bad now. We knew that the Nazi threats were not empty. That those people meant what they said. We had to do something. We couldn't just stay silent. But we also knew that it can cost us our heads.
And this was the intro of Through the Darkest of Times by Paintbucket Games from Berlin in Germany. Yeah, welcome to the very first game presentation video on this channel that is intentionally named as such. Paintbucket Games made an absolutely great little gem here, turn-based strategy or tactics game. We play a resistance group, and we will start right off with the story mode. Resistance mode is really harsh, and I would like to finally play through the story. Haven't done yet, despite having 15 hours in the game. Not because I was losing, but at some point it got really scary and I wanted to start over again. So let's start the story mode again. Oh, Johann Ring 41. Yeah, you get only randomly generated characters to display the random character of the people back then. So it's just you happen to be against the regime, so you started a resistance movement. Let's see if we can get something better. National Conservative. I haven't played a National Conservative yet. Bank managers also. Not exactly the hair I would expect from a bank manager. Also not the beard I would expect. Better. Alright. And let's see what we can do here with the first time a National Conservative as head of his group. So, the game is split into various chapters. In this case, we are in Chapter 1, the Seizure of Power, when Hitler gets appointed Chancellor of Germany by President Paul von Hindenburg. And then it already began, the suppression of the enemies of the regime. Yeah, the Centrum Party is talking with Hitler, the Conservative Party of Germany back in the time. The SA marches showing how strong they are now. Hear that in the background? That's actually radio messages back from then, so that's nice for the immersion. So these are the randomly generated guys that you start off with. We will take a look at them in a moment. They made him Chancellor, Hitler, yeah. So there's a little story pieces you get for background, randomly generated. This one is actually genuine, get it every time. Not genuine, pardon. And you can choose your answer. Yeah, we need to be careful and fight the regime. And you can access that. That would be great. So we start off with very few missions we can actually do. Morale here shows how motivated the group is. Supporters, yeah, we only have 5 supporters at the moment. 25? Next stage is at 20, and we unlock more actions. Inventory, we have a bicycle. That's good for getting away. We have some money, 50 Reichsmark, and some intel. Maybe that helps us at some point. And no contacts yet. So, we need to talk to workers. Now, workers like someone who is able at propaganda and has a high empathy, is a worker himself, an idealist and inspiring, and they don't like people that are academic, freelancers, or white-collar jobs. Unlocks additional actions like leaflets, buying paper or buy paint, and increases morale when successful. Now let's take a look. I myself, I'm a bank manager, national conservative. I'm not that great at secrecy. Very good empathy though. Propaganda, strength to literacy too. Generally not such a great guy. Oh, he's a cobbler, that's good. Moderate liberal, so negative impact, nope. He's an egoist, that's not that great. Secrecy, empathy, propaganda is alright. Strength is alright. Very bad literacy though. An anarchist, this is sometimes useful, but he's a lawyer and top of that. An athlete is also sometimes useful. Secrecy is okay. Yeah, he has good chances to pull something off here. We need the support, and we have to do as many missions as possible. So we need someone with empathy here. You'll try your luck, and you, as an anarchist, should have a chance to get some money from people in Kreuzberg. Kreuzberg is a workers' area. So our supporters grant us some money. And they're very important, especially in the early chapters. The more you supporters you have right at the beginning, the easier it gets later on. So we are able to get a few additional supporters. We get some money, and we don't get noticed. That is very important. Oh, and we have 3 new candidates for the group. So we have an anarchist, national conservative, and a moderate liberal. Another national conservative teacher could be interesting. A communist in this group would be interesting, but they are a danger. But he's strong, and we need more strongmen at the moment. Though she has very high literacy and empathy for the start. She is very good at propaganda, though, but shit at empathy. I go with her. That's also one of the scripted events here. You always get at the beginning. So, weather is bad at the Alexanderplatz. There's a group of men ganging up on someone, shouting at him. We head for the group. As you can see, SA men attacking someone who looks like a civilian. Get off the bike and to go closer. They call him the Dirty Jew. Oh god, please YouTube, have mercy with me, that's what stands here. We approach carefully. Oh, he's wearing a kippa beneath it. Yeah, this is cheering the one kicking him down up. We interfere. Okay, and we try to calm them down now, because really there is no point in pissing off the SA. Oh, saw that? Continue talking. We disagree with him, so I'm honest here, I don't know if I would be able to do so. Continue talking. Okay, they noticed that I distracted them, so it's time to run for the bike. Yeah. Idiots. We'll never get used to this stuff. Now, end of the scene. We lost some morale. Our missions, though, were successful, and we got 6 new supporters. Hitler is speaking with the generals. So there's a march against Hitler, and we should probably join that. There, joint public protest, and we need at least 3 members of our little group to go there. Empathy and propaganda. More empathy. More empathy and... that's better. And you try to find a new member for the group. We lost 1 supporter. But found 3 new members for the group. We don't have any religious guy yet. Textile worker and social democrat, but... let's go with the Catholic Conservatives. Those are great to rally support with the Christians. 200,000 supporters, protesters. We gain 11 supporters. That's great. This means we are above 20 now. Next level of missions gets unlocked. And we gained a lot of morale through that mission, so that was worth it. Heinrich Mann and Käthe Kollwitz stepped down from their positions within the Prussian Academy of Arts under pressure from the Nazis. Yeah. Nazis start having their influence. So we could meet a former unionist here. You were the anarchist, right? Meet the unionist. Here we have a priest, that's why I got you. You talk with the workers. Sadly, I now have no one to collect any money. So we will have to send someone else there, probably. Let's send him. Yes, he is an egoist, but nonetheless. They still have good chances of getting some support from the workers. Again, one supporter lost, but we're getting more money. And we're actually gaining access to the Christian community in Tempelhof. Again, we're gaining support here from the workers without getting discovered. 16 money, that's nice. And we gained access to the unionists. Lost some morale, but overall did well. Yeah, SA and SS get formed into a new police force. Oskar Maria Giraffe, famous writer, leaves Germany. Heinrich Ritter tells me, yeah, that's always a problem when you have such different guys in your group. We need both. This, of course, reduces morale a bit. Okay, we will skip some turns now for you guys and then see where we end up. This is one of the other events, actually, that happens now. Some things happened. The Reichstag is burning, the Parliament of Germany back then, and today again. So we run outside and take a look at it. Yeah, imagine something like the House of Parliament's burning in Great Britain, or the Capitol in the US. That's basically what happened, and enabled a complete crackdown on basically anyone that stood against the regime. Let's speak to people. She's wearing a white rose. That's a sign of defiance. People like you, I ask her, you seem alright. She hands me a card for the Giraffe, a dance bar. Let's talk to the big man. What does he think? Was it? Well, he says he wasn't it, but he says Nazis was it. Today it's still not clear who actually set fire to it. So we're approaching a man wearing a Great War uniform. Who started the fire? The communists and the Jews. Yeah, I've heard enough. I head home, and nothing good will come from this. But we gained the mission dancing at the Giraffe, or Giraffe. Lost morale, but gained 15 supporters. When a man loves a man, or a woman loves a woman, do you believe that's wrong? No, it's not. Okay, might be we have a homosexual in our group. That can cause problems, but has also sometimes its benefits. So they're cracking down on basically anyone. So right now is not... You can see how it's not a good time to do any difficult missions, because the risk of getting caught is high. Instead, keep low. Devil was also spotted last time, so we have to be careful. Anarchist, communist, something like that, or social democrat. Idealists, or inspiring people. Exactly, we have none of that. Oh, he's paranoid. Send him out. To make contact with these people. Then we need to meet an academic. Former unionist. Meet an academic. Moderate liberal. And another former unionist. We can't do that much with unionists, sadly. Okay. Try to gather some support, and then we might try to observe the SA activities and push in here. And let's calm down a bit. So skip ahead a bit. So we have reached a very important point. That is 55 supporters, actually 50 supporters. We have unlocked the main missions. We can try to do something really dramatic and destroy an important building, a Nazi propaganda exhibition. But for that we need Molotov cocktails. Not that easy to acquire. And we would need fuel for that. Another option is the truth will set them free. Critical leaflets. We need 3 of those. Difficult to acquire. And the Great Escape. We need to get SA uniforms. Also difficult to acquire. All 3 are very difficult to acquire. And often need multiple stages to acquire what we need. Now, here we could get print critical leaflets. But for that we would need paint first to write slogans on the walls. And that would also unlock collect donations in Lichtenberg. That grants you much money. But we have already more or less unlocked the option to get a few SA uniforms. This is very difficult at the moment, but I will nonetheless try it. But we also lost sight of the wife of Bert Hurting. She's missing. So we have to investigate that one. The chances of success for that are higher when I do it myself. But I fear that I don't have the money to go for this. Yeah, I thought so. Might get spotted doing this. So we unlocked a very dangerous mission, that is to free someone here. But we have to do this now. Won't be easy. We have to free his wife. Could use for that depth for past athlete. That'd be him. Secrecy and strength. These 2 guys should probably be able to pull that one off. And we give them some money to increase their chances. Okay. Babel goes into hiding. Now we still need money again. And for that we go with these guys to collect some additional money. We enforce it. Okay, we have been seen, but we managed to drive away potential onlookers. And we gained 30 morale, the bicycle, and we managed to free his wife. So that's a small success, and she shouldn't be as known as before, but we lost some supporters. Heinrich Ritter has lost his job. Why? Can offer you money, 10 marks out of 60, because we need the rest to get our hands on the uniform. We don't have anyone with the trade curious, sadly. This mission will cost us all our money. Bird herding has to lay low for now, and we will try to gain more support. We're able to get more uniforms. 6 additional supporters, okay. Nobody gets suspicious. We have been seen. Oh. Oh, the boycott has begun. We'll get closer and take a look at it. The SA are boycotting Jewish shops. Let's talk to the passerbys. Mother holding a child. She doesn't want to know what happens here. It goes away. Let's talk to the man in the suit. Angry for me asking. It's happening everywhere. I came from. I stand in front of every Jewish shop, doctors, lawyers, you name it. Huh. Okay, he runs away. He goes away. An elderly woman. You ask what she means with getting what they deserve. Ugh. Our enemies. They're sucking us dry. Okay, that's enough. Germans fight back, don't buy from Jews. Ugh. Their usual rambling. Let's talk to the brown shirt. Here's a guy. Bunch of cowards. Better go home. Provoke them enough. These events can have serious repercussions if you are a bit too pushy. Just have to... What are you going to do about Heinrich Ritter? What do you mean? He's gay. Doesn't have to do anything with it. It's about him to slither. Someone could blackmail him. He could endanger the group. Nah. Let's keep him in the group. We need him. So... can only get one uniform here. So we will have to do this to get another one, and then get books. How many books do we need? 3. So we are then able to get to observe here and there. It's not going to be easy. Okay, but first need to meet with conservatives. We need to raise some money. That's too dangerous for him to do, actually. Let's take one more look here. More support from there. I would love to raise more support, but we just can't. Alright. We will need Still have to reduce enemy suspicions here. His skills, he's not necessarily needed here, so we could use him for the observation here. Because we need these two to attack the SA and get the uniforms. We will support him. The others go into hiding so that their level is low enough to actually pull off the attack. Our supporters are giving us a lot of money, keep us afloat. Oh, we can get wreckers disappearing. That's great news. We don't need Babel for the next mission, so let's let her go. Because she's pregnant. So we now have two options to get our hands on SA uniforms. I think we can only get one, right? At the most. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that for some reason makes it more dangerous. And that's strange. I thought that would actually give us progression time, but we will confirm that one. So Heinrich Ritter isn't doing anything, so he is trying to get some support here. No, that worked. And let's see if we can get the uniform. We managed to get a uniform, great. But Hurting is correctly analyzing this as a good opportunity for the Nazis, that the Reichstag has been burning. We don't have any money at the moment, sorry for that. So we managed to pull that one off. Now we need money for books. We have 7 turns to pull the Great Escape off. The good thing is we now have an SA uniform that helps us with infiltrating this one. So we're now going to find a new member. Actually, that meant he got better at what he was doing anyway. What do we need here? Ah, oh, damn it, you can't get out of the level up screen? Oh, that's not good. Let's increase his strength. Ah, what is that? So for this we need money, obviously. Literacy. None of us is very good at that, so we will first get another SA uniform. And we need another member. These two together are probably better at it. Bird is again being searched for. We have 59 supporters now. Talk to workers. Can't really do that, and we can't talk to any conservatives here at the moment. He's unemployed, they don't like that. He's a lawyer. Okay, in that case, and Bird again has to stay underground because we need him later on. The athlete skill is too good. Another 17 marks. So if we get 6 additional supporters, not great, but not too bad. 3 new potential members. Electrician with high literacy. Interesting. Let's take the moderate liberal. Cheering crowd. Carefully move to the edge of the crowd. Listen carefully. Oh! Let's move closer in. The era of extreme Jewish intellectualism. Ugh. One of the closest to me turns and frowns at me, rolling my eyes at the speeching. Some kindness, a filthy Jew. I'm German. Get away. No. I won't get drawn into this. Decided to disappear quickly into the round, but his back is turned. Scan the crowd. Keep moving through the crowd while they are screaming the paroles. And they're burning books. The action against the un-German spirit. And reaction to this, the German authors actually said, who burns books burns humans in the end. And damn, he was right. Keep watching, and we meet someone. You don't look well, friend. Why aren't you looking at the chant? Joining the chant? Maybe he sympathizes with the resistance. We could use more men. Why don't you join the chant? And sadness draws over his face as his gaze turns towards the fire. His wet eyes reflect the dancing flames. It reminds me of someone I know. It's enough for me to attempt the destruction of my own work. Oh, so he's a writer. To celebrate it would be too self-depreciating, even for me. Wait, what? Are you doing here? We have to fight back. You know, they had to ask the firemen to douse the books in petrol, leave it to the Nazis to schedule book burning in the rain. Yeah. I recognize him. He's Erich Kästner, the writer. I actually have a few books of him, I think. Pretty famous German writer, at least in Germany. I don't know if it's internationally. Oh, he gets recognized, so he has to leave. Pornographer, another one shouts. The other is suddenly aware of the danger he's in, quickly disappears into the crowd before things get worse. Oh, he's lost his notebook. Let's see if we are able to bring him that one. Oh, I just clicked this. My brother. How did he find out he's in the resistance? Stop spying. Public attack on Berlin Academy. Outraged Nazi students stormed the Berlin Institute for Sexual Science and loot its library. Well, for having a wank at it, probably. SPD executives go into exile. Okay. To smuggle books, we need additional money. Six turns. One for this. One for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns, and this is on turn 6, and I can't do this now. Ah, crap, we might be too late already. What would us give that? I would love to do that, but I fear it's just not possible. Does this cost us money? No, not really. But he is so being looked after. More strength. We have to power through the SA. Okay, Bird, why are you still being looked after, huh? Crap. What do we get from this? I wonder. Heinrich, you're a Catholic conservative. I would love to use you here, but I fear that won't work out. What do you need to steal the funds? Strength. This paranoid won't work out. Okay, we have to get in here. There's no way around it. Why can't I use the SA uniform here? It would help us so much. Okay, we'll use all the money we have. At the same time, rising some here. And keep Bird out of it. Okay, this gave us intel for whatever it's worth. We're able to raise some money. Oh, we get discovered. No, panicked. Panic attack is over, and we get another uniform, but we have been seen. Oh shit! Bird Hurting has been arrested. No, Bird! So after a few more actions, we sadly weren't able to acquire the SA uniforms in time, but we have 2 already. We won't be able to acquire number 3. Yeah, our people are just too much getting looked after. I will try to get some more money. And yeah, maybe something of this will get carried over into the next part of the chapter. But nonetheless, we managed to free Bird Hurting. So our crew is now doing very well. The only thing we still need is money and a reduction in enemy suspicions about us. So when we manage to do that, we should be fine in the next chapter. I will show you though what happens at the end of this one now. Alright, so we're in the last turn and sadly failed to acquire enough SA uniforms for this. But we are going to confront a snitch we got to know about. Sadly, money doesn't really give us any benefits here. Not so sure about intel. No, doesn't help too. And the pack of books does neither. So we will use both to help him swing around people in the church to acquire more supporters. In case you are wondering why we have so much money, I actually managed to pull this one off 2 times in the last 2 turns, thanks to the 2 SA uniforms we have. That helped us tremendously. So now, let's see how this one works out. And Bird is, by the way, in hiding. Lost some support. Bird gained supporters aplenty. In return, though, of course, someone got suspicious. We have been seen, but that doesn't really matter because we managed to root out the snitch. And Bird, in hiding, got his level reduced. So, now we're going to see what is happening at the end of the chapter. So, we're in Köpenick at the train station, and we'll leave it. I continue on my way to see Mariana, one of our supporters, who should be waiting for me already. When I make it to the Elsengrund neighborhood, not a single worker is on his way to the factory, no children are playing in the street, and no one is out getting groceries. That looks strange, does it? A little further down the road, I see a white truck with the logo of a laundry service on it. I smell smoke, probably from campfires in the community garden nearby. Move on. I reach the small house in which Mariana and her husband Werner live, both the former unionists who support the group. I knock on the door. Eventually, a curtain in one of the windows is pulled aside and Mariana's face peers out. She sees me and opens the door. "Are you insane coming here?" she whispers, looking left and right, then quickly pulls me inside and closes the door behind me. Ask why she's acting like this. We sit down in a dimly lit room. All the curtains are closed. A little girl is sitting in the corner, drawing something on a piece of paper. I don't recognize her. Mariana and Werner don't have kids. Maybe enemies? What is it? "Haven't you heard?" She looks at me. "The raids, they're happening everywhere in Elsengrund. They have arrested dozens of people. And now it gets really creepy." "Who are they?" She can tell me more. The little girl who has continued quietly since I entered the room. Izot. Okay, that's an interesting name. Could you tell my friend Johann what happened yesterday? The girl stops drawing and looks at me. Look at her picture. Okay. This is my papa and these are the men who took him. Ugh, says the girl and continues. When I came home from school, there was a truck in front of our house and Helena is my friend from school. Helena said, "Isn't that your father?" And then I saw him too. Her father is Götz Kilian. You probably know him. He's a teacher here in Köpenick, says Mariana. Thank you. There were men, 2 of them, holding Papa, and the 3rd one was beating him up. Whew. What did you do then? They pushed him into the back of the truck, and the men climbed up there too, and they kept beating him. I cried so loud that everyone could hear me. I begged them to stop. What happened next? Then Mama came, and we looked for the truck. We found it at a pub. Papa was gone, but there were more of the bad men. When they saw Mama, they recognized and wanted to take her too. Oh my god. I cried so loud that I scared the bad men. They didn't dare to take her because they thought I would break their ears. She smiles. And then we came here to Aunt Mariana. But Mama is busy right now. She will pick me up later, right, Aunt Mariana? Okay. Let's see if we can find her father. Oh, and her husband is missing too. Let's try to find them. Outside, the white laundry truck drives past me at high speed. It has something on its back, but I can't see what it is. Follow cautiously. Trying not to attract attention, the truck is quickly out of sight, but the road can only lead to one destination, Schmöckwitz Forest. Let's go to the forest. It's chilly in the forest despite the warm summer sun. Hurry up. Follow the main path leading from Köpenick to Wuhlheide. When I reach an area with large leafy trees, I notice something hanging up high. Get closer to inspect. A huge sack is hanging in the branches, like a butterfly cocoon. Find out what it is. I climb up the tree and cut down the sack. It drops to the ground with a thud. Cut it open. There's a pale face staring at me. It's Werner, Mariana's husband, the woman from before. His face is bloody and swollen, his right eye is missing. I feel sick. Pull yourself together. I swallow the acidic taste in my mouth. When I look up again, I see that there are more of these sacks. Many, many more. And that is the end of chapter 1. Yeah. What should I say? They're arresting thousands and tens of thousands of dissidents and sent them to the first concentration camps. As we can see, my leadership is strong. The group has recruited and retained enough supporters to withstand the brutal crackdown. And that is the end of chapter 1. We will continue with the next one. Well, not in this video. Maybe on stream. I will inform you when the stream is happening, and I hope, despite this bleak and haunting experience you can have with this game, nonetheless enjoyed it. It's definitely a game one should probably play. It's harsh. It's haunting, as I said. It's not easy to play. Sometimes it gets really gruesome, and I had my moments with it where I didn't want to play it anymore. Nonetheless, a very interesting experience. I highly recommend to play it. Yeah, maybe you will do so. Remember, subscribe. I don't really want to call out for likes, but of course, that would be great. And see you, hopefully, on the next one. Bye-bye.
The bloodshed in Köpenick wasn't the first event of its kind, and it likely won't be the last. SA and police arrested tens of thousands of political opponents. Many were imprisoned, tortured, or killed. The Nazis banned all political parties except the NSDAP and made it clear that from now on they alone ruled the country. In November, Hitler won re-election with 92% of the vote. We went into hiding. It felt like there was nothing left we could do.